right, so we are here today with Rob and Jen Loftin from RJL Business Services. Thank you for joining us today on episode number 17 of the No BS Show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So RJL, or Rob and Jen here, they own a really up-and-coming company that's been around for a long time in the area that's really focuses on the accounting side of businesses, which is kind of, one of the things that most people hate to deal with, which is where you guys come in because you guys are phenomenal at dealing with that aspect, and it's something that's vitally important to each and every business. So definitely excited to have you on the show, learn a little bit about your story. I know you guys have helped us a lot this past year with all of the growth that we've had. So first of all, thank you for that, and thanks again for being on the show. So tell us a little bit about your story and how you guys got started, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Do you want me to go ahead and start? Okay, great. So we've been in business for almost 7 years. Okay. And 7 years ago, I come from corporate accounting. I worked in electronic litigation and was their vice president of accounting. Enjoyed that very much. Mm-hmm. Wanted to expand our family though. Yeah. And working downtown Portland, 60, 70 hours a week wasn't going to be ideal.
Doesn't even count the drive time, right?
Right? Yeah. So we decided, collectively that I could do what I do for that large business on a much smaller scale. Mm-hmm. For small businesses, but I could have a flexible schedule and do that from our home office. Yeah. So originally, there wasn't a plan to expand. It was more of my thing, and he had a full-time job at that time. But, I can't help myself but grow businesses, so I ended up growing my own.
Very nice. And what were you doing with your full-time job there?
I worked as CFO for local denim company.
Okay.
And from there, they sold off to an LA company, and I was not moving to LA. Yeah. I wanted to stay in the Northwest.
For sure.
And I don't think my family was moving there either.
Yeah, right.
So I started spinning off from them. And then Jen's like, hey, why don't you come work for me? And it's like, you can't afford me yet. You can't afford me. Or I can't afford to come work for you.
Yeah. There you go. That's probably a better way to word it, right?
I don't know which way it is. But so I continued doing some side stuff, working for some local companies, still doing some, some consulting stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Jen kept saying, hey, we're growing. I'm out here. I'm hustling. We really need you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just do it, and we'll jump in.
Very nice. And you guys have made it work. So you jumped in right at the beginning, about a year in?
Oh
2
no,
years?
I jumped in 5 years in.
5 years in? Okay.
4 years.
4 years. 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
it took 4 years before he could become full time.
Yeah.
But I was also raising 2 toddlers because we didn't just have one more child. We ended up having 2.
Yeah.
Because according to Rob, they come in pairs.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
So it did take a while. It was slow growing at first, and then it just took off when I was able to focus more on that. And we've been really fortunate to have help with childcare from our family. So.
Yeah, and that's a really important thing, is being able to be there for your family. I can tell already that's, one of your guys' values, core values, is being there for your family, being able to spend time with the kids. And same holds true to me, and I think that's with every entrepreneur. One of the main reasons that they decide to open a business is to have that flexibility to be able to spend the time with their loved ones, because you only have so much time in the world, and you want to cherish every second of it, especially as they're growing, and you get to watch them throughout all the important aspects of their lives. So that's very commendable there. And so accounting. You guys are both have an accounting background. Why accounting? Where did you come up? Were you just sitting at school one day, hey, I'm good at math and let's do accounting? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my background is a lot in accounts receivable, accounts payable. So I managed accounts receivable for a dental office early on. Okay. And found a kind of a niche. People forget to put the humanistic type of approach into collecting. Yeah. So you call to collect on a receivable, and it's not just about the money, it's about who you're talking to on the other end. It's it's giving them a more personal touch, right? Yeah, absolutely. So as I found my niche, some doors opened for me, and companies were asking me to come in and not only do collections but also manage their accounting department, essentially, because I was so good with people. It wasn't just about accounting anymore, it was about managing the staff and teaching them what I knew. So from there, I started to put processes and procedures in place, and moved on from the healthcare industry into this litigation support, where attorneys are their clients. So professionalism is huge in that industry. When you go to collect a bill, you need to have a lot of professionalism.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then Rob.
Well, I went to school.
I know this story.
Yeah.
Went to school, started out pre-med.
Okay.
And all those guys, all they did was study.
Yeah.
I was watching all the business guys out partying, having a good time. I said,
yeah,
I don't want to study. I want to party and have a good time.
You want to have fun, right?
So that's how I got into accounting. I was good in math. I was already heavy science and heavy math.
Yeah.
And I liked math, so I just moved into the accounting side of it.
Very cool.
And that's how I got
Hey, you got to have fun, right? Work hard, play hard, huh? It's kind of the sales business mantra as well a little bit, so got to love that. So with that, with RJL, what is something that you guys specialize in? Is it just accounting as a whole, or are there any kind of niches that you guys focus on for the small and medium businesses in the area?
Well, because our own business is so successful, I like to implement a lot of the business consulting into our packages. So when somebody comes to us for accounting, we talk about how to grow their business as well and implement these new processes and procedures and systems and resources to help them grow, help them sustain their growth as well.
Okay.
Rob is a seasoned CFO. We offer contract CFO services. That is that next level of review, so to speak. So he's going to review financial statements with our clients, go through data, and make it meaningful to them. Teach them how to use it, right? And then I go on top of that and look at, okay, so this is the data. How can we use it to, grow their business in the way that they want to? Some companies don't want to be huge, So some of them have ideas of just getting to a certain plateau, and that's where they want to be. But it's all about getting to know your customer and what they want.
Yeah,
and how
adding
to get
that personal touch to it,
exactly.
right? Because each client's a little bit different.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that we love about working with you guys is, just the both aspects of it. Rob does a phenomenal job, the numbers, breaking it down, translating it into X plus, or this plus this equals this. If you're going to open your office in Cincinnati, which is what we've been focusing on this year, having that data and being able to break that down has been a tremendous help for us in being able to execute and open that. And then yourself being able to take those numbers and kind of translate it and kind of adding that personal touch, knowing our rapid growth goals and what we're trying to accomplish across the country and into Canada now has been huge. So you guys definitely have the full aspect covered, and it's been really nice and very educational to really take that and use the data and learn from it and be able to make smarter decisions as you grow. Because there's so many places you can go wrong if you don't know the numbers or you're not fully understanding it, to where a business owner can get into trouble and they grow too fast, or they get to a point where they don't see what's coming as far as the financials and what it can show. Right. So that's been a huge thing for us. So thank you again for that. So you guys are married, you work together. We're all dying to know how you guys haven't killed each other yet.
There are those.
So work-life balance. How do you guys do that?
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. We work together, but we are during the day going our own ways.
Yeah.
We have our own tasks. We have our own expectations for each other, and we're focused on what we're doing, relying on the other person to do theirs.
Yeah. So you have that trust.
Correct.
That each person's going to handle their business.
So, and we've met with mentors where we talk about our strengths and weaknesses, and also personality coach. That was a great thing for us to understand each other's personality better.
Yeah.
So that we don't take offense to the differences. Instead, we embrace them.
Yeah.
And really kind of hone in on what each other should be doing and kind of how to set those boundaries.
For sure.
So that we can be successful and work together. We also have to have a stopping point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the worst at that. Like, I can talk about business morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
Whereas Rob has an off switch, right? So at a certain point in the day, he wants it to be about our marriage and our family and not about work. And I will say that I struggle with that probably daily. But in the back of my mind, like, I will keep tabs on myself and realize, oh, I better table this for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I even email myself.
Oh, there you go. I love it. So it sounds like you guys have communicated really well about that too. And I'm sure that's, obviously in business, but then in marriage as well, communication is key to making it work. So that's good. I don't know if I could do it. Me and my wife, we love each other to death. It would be really cool to be able to work with her together, though, of course. That's got to be probably one of the coolest things I would think on your guys' end is being able to grow the business together. It's kind of like another baby of yours, right?
Yes.
And that's got to be really cool to be able to watch it grow.
Well,
and get the awards.
we've changed so much in our lives, too. I mean, originally I went to college to do nursing, so I wanted to be a nurse. Then I changed to business, but, and then focused highly on, like, the accounting side of things. Well, I feel like that's a career change. Personally, like, I've seen myself go from the mom of the 2 girls, because we have older ones, where, I tried to limit the time I worked when they were really little, to then being completely 100% into my career whenever I think the oldest was 6. And then I, again, kind of took a step back and tried to have a more part-time position and couldn't help myself going back into a full-time. I mean, we change and evolve as people, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
our personalities, the core of us kind of stay the same, but I think that there's just a lot of transition in life. So just keeping tabs with each other on, okay, where are you at right now? Like, do you want to be 100% in? Do you need some help to step back?
Yeah.
That kind of thing is just important to talk about as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. So with you guys, over the last 7 years, you guys have got a couple of awards as well. What was best in Clark County or Southwest Washington? Which was
best in business for Southwest Washington. That was such an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you got accomplished under 40 as well yourself. So both on the alum there, which is pretty cool. So what would you say has attributed to your guys' success, and what separates you, or what allows you to get those awards and kind of be so liked in the community here?
We talk a lot about that, and for us, I think that we have a strong faith, and so that's first and foremost in our life, and I'm very grateful for everything that we receive. And then our network of people. That support has meant so much to us and truly helped us propel our business.
Yeah, and I would agree. The only thing I would add to that is that the industry that we're in, we are different. We don't just do bookkeeping. We just don't do CPA work. We have a holistic view of a business, and we want to help people grow. We understand the financial information. There's a lot of bookkeepers, and I'm not putting down bookkeepers. There's a lot of bookkeepers out there that all they want to do is provide a financial statement and hand it off. They don't understand what that information means. And we want to educate our clients to how to use this information. And that's what makes us different. We look at their business as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the huge part, because just handing off the numbers, I know for me, I'm not a numbers guy. I look at the little thing and I'm like, oh my God, this is like Greek, right? And I feel like a lot of business owners, feel that same way. That's kind of a tough thing to grasp. And where you guys come in really well is the education piece, and like, hey, this is the numbers, and this means this, which means this, and that's what's going to happen with this, right?
They have this really good proactive approach too. We're problem solvers by nature. So when we see that there needs to be a change, we don't just tell you that there needs to be a change. We try to create solutions and give you some suggestions, recommendations, right?
No, I agree.
We vet out all of our resources. You're a resource for us and our clients, and we formed a relationship first, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's really important to us. We invest a lot of time in the relationships that we have.
Yeah. So the education, making it a relationship, not a transaction, and kind of being the one-stop shop for a business and their accounting needs, which is fantastic. I mean, I know with us at Riverside, that's kind of a lot of the similar goals or same things that we have, which is why I think we've clicked so well, is because we're all about educating our clients. It's about, here's not only the rates you're going to get, but why the rates you're paying. Here's systems and options. Here, you can go with this one because it's going to do this for you. And kind of doing that education, being there from your little mom and pop, auto repair shop to, a 50 location restaurant. We kind of service the full gamut as well. And being able to educate, keep it personable, and, really having that personal touch, from each account gets a client success manager. That way they can focus on getting to know that client and their wants and their needs.
Yep.
And I think that's been huge for us, and obviously it's been huge for you guys as well.
Yeah, it's the same thing for us, because we want to help them grow their business, but for us to help them grow, we need to know what their goals are.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of time with the financial information, you're saying as business owners, we just don't understand these financial statements. But as a business owner, you need to know those as well as I know those, so that if your exit plan is to sell it, you're going to have to sell it, and you're going to have to understand the numbers, because they're going to ask questions. If you're trying to go to the bank to get a loan, you're going to have to know those numbers and be able to explain the story to the bank, why the numbers are the way they are. And you have to know that better than me.
They don't just give you money, right?
No.
You have to be able to explain the data and the numbers and what it all means. And, and that's an important piece to make sure you get those loans. Or, if you're looking to exit, one of the things that is vitally important, because if you don't, you're going to get a much lower multiple than if you actually know the numbers and are true to form with it and have the story to go along with it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're just going to take advantage of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Try to lowball you.
Yep. So you mentioned network of people. So one of the other things that you guys are a big part of, and that you started with Kareen Mills, is the Game Changers Network. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Game Changers and that networking organization that you run?
Game Changers is near and dear to my heart. We believe in giving and serving first and foremost, and receiving just naturally happens when you give and serve. It is built on a principle where we hold ourselves accountable to make those meetings. We want to form relationships, so we do a lot of one-to-ones. We support each other in the community. When you have a ribbon cutting or any kind of event, you'll see a lot of Game Changers there. Yeah. We have a little slogan, we network to give and serve, and referrals are a byproduct. And we also talk about net giving, which is kind of a cute hashtag. Yeah. But we started that over 2.5 years ago, and that original group is still in place, and we've expanded to help other people, because it is an exclusive group. It's only one category allowed in that group. So. Yeah. But you're a part of that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's been fantastic. That's actually, one of the ways that we didn't originally meet that way, but we really got to know each other a lot through the Game Changers networking group. And I've been to pretty much every one of them out there, and it just kind of seems just like a waste of time a lot of times. But what big thing that I loved about Game Changers is all the people in it as well. Like the groups, and every one of the people truly cares about paying it forward, like giving without the expectation of receiving.
Yes.
And I think that's what truly makes those networking groups work, and what separates Game Changers is the fact that the people really do care. They're there for you. If we have an event, people come. If there's other events, you always see fellow Game Changers at those events supporting each other. Social media, anytime there's anything going on there, we're always supporting each other, which is kind of the coolest part that really has made the group work and separate itself and differentiate itself from all the other ones out there. So that's why I love being a part of it myself.
And I want to give a shout out to Kareen Mills, because she's my co-founder, and we absolutely formed this together. Yeah. We're a partnership. 50-50 through and through. She's my bestie.
Yes, absolutely. You guys are besties and hustlers. Always moving, always working. I love it.
Yes, very much so.
All right. So what would you say, this is one of the questions I always like to ask fellow business owners, is probably the hardest thing that you've ran into in business, or one of your biggest objections that you guys have had to overcome to be successful?
I think time. So whenever you dive in it was started out small, right? So, I had all this flexibility, and it was from my home office. I picked my own hours. Well, whenever you decide to take a leap and dive into growing it into a firm, it changes things. Like, it is now more than a full-time job. There's a lot of sacrifice involved. It's worth it. But you no longer have as much flexibility. Sure, I can still schedule appointments around, my meetings and that kind of thing, but it's different. Your time is not just your own anymore. Yeah. And then when you build up your client base, which we have quite a few clients now, their time is just as valuable as mine. Yeah. So we're constantly trying to meet in the middle, to compromise. And then we hired staff. So now you have employees. So then they're counting on you to keep them busy and to develop your culture. That's a lot of pressure too. There's this thing called culture now.
Yeah,
okay.
there
20
is.
years ago, 20 years ago,
there was not that.
There was
right?
not a culture. We didn't. Yeah, it was a completely different environment, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I remember in the dental office, I had to wear closed-toed shoes and pantyhose and couldn't even show a shoulder,
Yeah.
So things have just changed quite a bit over the years, which I love the way it is now. It's awesome and it feels so good. But you just have to keep up with it. There's a lot of pressure involved, and ultimately you're responsible to feed those mouths to your employees and to make sure everything is done perfectly for your clients too.
Yeah.
What would you add to that?
No, I agree, absolutely agree with you, because now, when it was small and it was just, all you had to rely on ourselves. So however hard we wanted to work was we got the return from that.
Yeah.
But now we've added employees to that, like you were saying, and now you're responsible for those employees and their families to make sure that they are taken care of. So it just adds.
Yeah, there's always something going on too, right? There's always this fire, or always this or that, and you have the ability to schedule things around your schedule and gives you that little flexibility. But I remember with my last company, we kind of plateaued per se, and hit this point where I didn't really have to work. Like the last year, I just kind of floated by and just kind of handled things here and there, and it was a comfortable lifestyle. But then I made the decision to go all in and hey, I want to grow something. I feel like this is a great opportunity to make a difference and be able to help thousands of people across the country with Riverside. So when I did that, it was like going from ultimate flexibility to that first year was 60, 70, 80-hour weeks where you're in early, you're out late, and there's those sacrifices you have to make. But ultimately being able to help so many people and just give back and be able to employ the hundreds of people that we do now has been truly phenomenal. And definitely there's always pressure, and when you have a couple days off or you get a week off here and there, you just come back to 20 fires instead of the 4 or 5 that you have to deal with on a daily basis. So it definitely compounds and builds up, but it's definitely worth it, I'd say, in the long run.
And I haven't given up my motherhood whatsoever by expanding. I mean, what I've done is just maximize the time, you know? You become very efficient.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Sometimes you work late at night and early in the morning, but it's all worth it. They're so worth it. And, they're not getting any younger, and neither am I. So as they grow up, I just want to keep growing with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's finding that work-life balance. I mean, outside of sleep, we have basically 17 to 18 hours in a day. What you do with those hours really define you. Some people just watch TV all day or play video games. And that's kind of the stuff that if you're going to own a business and have a family that you have to cut out or minimize to really be, maximize those hours in the day where you can get all your work done and spend the time with the family. So it's, about being efficient, like you said.
One of the things I appreciate about this day and age is that you are able to work remotely very efficiently as well. And we've learned how to do that. So just recently we took a trip and we carved out time every day to work. The kids know the schedule, and then we focus on them. And we're just so grateful to be able to have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just up in Canada myself. It was a little work fun trip because we're expanding to Canada. But basically got up early, did my workout routine in the morning, and I got up about 5, did the workout, and then I had about 3-4 hours before breakfast at about 10 with the kids and the fam and everything that I was able to jam in, and then I'd finish the day after dinner, get a couple more hours in, and then we'd watch a movie together and kind of call it a day or play family game night. So it's about maximizing the time and putting in that effort to do so to where you can do it from anywhere, and that's the beauty of the technology that we have in today's modern age. So the last question I always like to ask is, somebody's wanting to start their own accounting firm, someone's wanting to open their own business, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give them?
Just because you built it doesn't mean they're going to come.
Yeah? Hey, very true. I like it.
Elaborate.
Yeah, go ahead. Elaborate.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's more than you think it's going to be. You're going to have to be different. How are you going to differentiate yourself from all the competition out there?
Yeah.
It goes for any business. It's not just accounting, but you're going to have to be different. Why are they going to come to you versus go to your competitor?
Yeah.
So, it's
very well said.
And I believe that you need to form relationships. You need your network of support. As you're building your business, especially an accounting firm, people come to you for accounting because they trust you.
Yeah.
You need to build that trust. Don't just expect it.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that you need to do that, and also hire the very best. Don't, we occasionally, right, like we'll take a cut because we need to make a really good hire, and you know what I mean? As a business owner, I mean, I'll be honest with you, sometimes it comes out of your pocket, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It looks like it's
you
so glamorous, but you have to make
yeah.
sacrifices. This is where we talk about sacrifice, and I'm willing to do that because I want the very best for our clients.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, too, as large as we are, we need to be able to provide that, customer service that our clients are looking for, and to do it, you got to have the best, and you got to have people available. You have got to have reliability. So, I really truly believe that you spend money to make money.
Yep, that's a fact. And kind of the biggest thing, it's always harder than you think it is, right? And people always kind of think that, being a business owner, it's glamorous, it's fun, and it has its perks, once you work the amount of hours that you need to put in to get it there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love the Shark Tank. It's one of my favorite shows. Like, Mark Cuban, all those guys on that show, guys and gals on that show, literally probably worked more hours than any of us combined, right, to get to where they're at. And now they have the ultimate lifestyle, right? And they can do whatever they want, essentially, because of all the hard work they put in. And that's one of the biggest things that they always talk about when they invest in people is, are they willing to put in the work and have that work ethic to get out there and hustle, right? Yep. So many people say they're a hustler, they get out there and they grind, and they work like 3 hours a day. It's like, who are you kidding? Come on, let's be real, right? But you have to put in that work, and that's what, it really is. It's always harder than you think it is, and there's always going to be stuff that comes your way that you don't expect. You're going to get hit in the face with something you don't see coming, and it's how you react to that and how you just persevere and work even harder to overcome that obstacle that defines you as a person and, as a successful business owner. So,
Agreed.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having on the show. What's the best way? So someone's interested in signing up with you guys. What's the best way to do that? Email, text, Facebook? Like, what? Give a little shout out. Give a little plug for yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
If you're interested in working with us, we would love to hear from you. Please check us out on the web. We have a great website with a contact page. It's rjlbs.com. Pretty catchy, rjlbs.com.
Yeah.
No BS.
No BS show.
And he didn't even pay me to say that one.
Nope.
Anyway, we would love to hear from you, and we've got a great staff. We can set up a free consultation to go through your goals, what you need, and put together a flat monthly fee, so it's predictable pricing. Again, just reach out to us, rjlbs.com, and it's RJL Business Services. Do you have anything else?
No.
All right. Well, thanks again so much for being on the show. I'll go ahead and tag the website and the Facebook page in the post here. And as always, thank you so much for joining us on the No BS show. And as always, be money, be great, and make it a great day.